Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. So 6 months ago we did a video on these cheap blue bottle eBay ceramic coatings and were they any good or not. Today we're coming back to talk about how they've performed long term on our test panel and give you some updates on these products. Welcome back to the Forensics Detailing channel. So like I said guys, 6 months ago we did a video talking about these cheap blue bottle eBay ceramics. Pretty much off the cuff video, a couple of bullet points, bit of a hangover, waffling on for ages about them, but the bottom line and summary of that video, I'd encourage you to go and watch it, but the summary of them is that I thought these products were perhaps low on resin. That was one of my main concerns, as well as the lack of kind of consumer information on how to install them was some of my concerns. So now we're going to look at kind of how they've actually performed 6 months later. In this video I've also bought another cheap ceramic that's called Mr. Fix 9H, and I bought this on eBay for 6 or 7 quid. Now just one thing on this, I looked at the Mr. Fix ceramic and it comes in a box with instructions and all that sort of stuff, a cardboard box that you slide the lid off. This particular Mr. Fix that I got on eBay for 6 or 7 quid came in a watchmaker's, it's like a box that they present watches in that's made of wood, and the sides of the box just like fall off. It looks like a presentation box for a watch, and that just creates doubt in my mind that this might be almost like a fake version of the Mr. Fix. I don't know if they've changed boxes or something like that, or someone else has just got the bottle and put it in another box or whatever. So I'm just caveating that, it's important. So I'm going to refer to this as the eBay 6 to 7 quid coating. This is the eBay 3 to 4 quid coating. I might call this fake Mr. Fix as well. Bottom line is I don't know if it's the real stuff or not, which is another problem with buying this stuff on eBay. Before I go on to talk about the 6 months results, 3 updates or corrections from the first one. When I was talking about them, I suggested that they might just be a low concentration of solids, like watered down or something like that. That probably isn't true, and we'll talk about specifically what I'm seeing with these different products. But to take the Veteran, for example, it's very repellent and very hydrophobic. So it's not just low, if it is low on solids, and all of the information in this video is just my opinion on them, okay? It's not meant to be a factual representation of these products, just me giving you my opinion on them. But the Veteran 9H is very hydrophobic for ceramic, even by ceramic coating standards. So it's got to be something else blended in there that's repellent. Even if it's not, well, it won't be those expensive speciality resins that I mentioned in the first video. You know, your inorganic and organic kind of silazane stuff. Next update, I talked too much about one particular speciality chemical that was the inorganic liquid silazane. You know, and the inorganic liquid silazane, the nitrogen-based silicone coating, if you like, is very commonly used, but it's typically balanced in with an organic version of it, a carbon-based version, in lots of coatings. But there are more, you know, lots of coatings using other specialty chems and other organic resins in there as well. So there's a bit more to it than that. And there's a lot of coatings out that are coming out now that are, I think, have ditched those nitrogen and carbon silicone based versions and are using other versions. You know, there's got to be other players out there giving you the kind of hard solid products as well, so there's probably more options out there going on. Again, it's just guessing a little bit, but it's been 6 months now and I've talked to a lot of people about it, so there's more going on than just the inorganic silazane is the little update on that. I also said in these videos that I would assume that all these blue bottle products were the same. From just getting my hands on another one, it behaves differently, which we're going to talk about. But the fact that I've tried 2 of them now and they're not the same means that there could be variation in all these cheap ceramic coatings. So it's important to say that in this video as well. Right, let's get on to what happened over the 6 month test. Right, let's get into the meat and nuts, or the meat and veg, and the nuts and bolts even. So here on the test panel, on the left hand side we have the Vet 3 to 4 quid coating. In the middle we have what I'm calling Fake Fix 6 to 7 quid, and on the right premium 40 to 50 quid ceramic coating. Let's start with the £3 to £4 veteran coating, give you some updates on that. So I want to try and balance this out, okay, because these are easy targets for me. I've got no idea who they are. There's probably, you know, might even be one-man bands behind them as companies buying them from a source and then selling them. So it's an easy target, but I don't want to go too strong on the negative, so I want to balance the negatives with a positive. So first off, the veteran, quite simply, £3 to £4. Whatever it is cheap as chips. So even if you buy it and you get disappointing results, you haven't spent a fortune on it. So that's a big positive, huge positive on the price tag of this, £3 to £4. Another positive of the veteran coating, that it is very, very, very hydrophobic, very, very repellent. Okay, so that's a positive. If you like your hydrophobicity, then you will be impressed by how repellent this is. Even by ceramic coating standards, it's very repellent. Right. Let's go through the negatives here, and I think I've got 4 of them. First negative is, from applying this thing, even on the hood, I've been playing around with it a lot more. It's prone to streaking, and I'll try and overlay a shot to you. And it's not like the streaking that you get with detail sprays. It's like these lines that are created when you buff the product off. And that, I think, is coming from the fact that the product hasn't bonded properly when you're wiping it off. So you're getting kind of like the product dragging over the surface of the clear coat and creating these streaky straight lines. The other 2 products have never done it, and none of the other products, I've got another plate over here with 3 other base coat ceramics that I did in the best ceramic videos, and none of those did that. I've tried playing around with this coating and leaving it for longer, because I said in the original video I can't feel it biting or bonding into the panel, and I've tried leaving it for a long time and buffing it, and I still, if I get the right light in it, I can see these horrible lines that I find difficult to buff out. So there could be an application issue with this that you need to be aware of. Virtually impossible to see these lines on any other colour than black, by the way. So, you know, you won't always see it. Same negatives that I said before, because there's no information on, no user instructions around curing times and support and stuff like that. You can't ask anybody, how long should I leave this? You know, I had some guys saying spray water on the panel. You know, some of the other ceramics that can be, the water can trigger the kind of the moisture cure quicker. But there's no, you're just assuming that it's water-based. There are no instructions. So you're on your own with cure times and application methods. And with no guidelines, the chances of things going wrong, and like what I've observed on this panel, will always go north. You know, those chances will go up. Another thing about this, from the long-term durability tests, been measuring gloss on these panels on application and then all the way through. Not done readings every day or anything like that, but one after sort of like a month, one after a couple more months. But it's the final gloss one that I'm really comparing it on. And the gloss retention of this particular product is low, and also the gloss on application of it is a little bit low as well. So it doesn't seem to give me quite as much gloss as the other products here that I'm comparing it against. So the final thing I want to cover on this veteran £3 to £4 one that I didn't cover before, is there absolutely any viable use for this for you know, looking after your car, protecting your car? Well, with ceramic coatings, you know, they have a wide variety of uses. You can get coatings for leather, but typically you've got your alloy wheels, your paintwork, your glass and your plastic trim. Alloy wheels, glass and paintwork, I wouldn't use this on there at all. The only one that might be half viable is that this might be okay or acceptable for using on your trim, but I haven't tested that. Why do I say it might be viable? Well, one, because, you know, the lower concentration of solids is probably going to be less important. Some of this coating gets absorbed into these plastic trims, I believe. They're porous. So, you know, the fact that it's hydrophobic as well might give you a good water effect. You're less worried about the lack of gloss retention or potential lack of durability long term because of the lower solids. So you could just sort of use quite a lot of this, you know, and do another layer of it or something like that. It might be functional as a trim coating, but I haven't tested that. And if you do use it, like I say, you are on your own. If you use it for that, you're on your own. But let us know in the comments, because a lot of guys said, what about trims and alloys? Well, alloys no, trims maybe. Right, so that is the veteran, and I've tried to balance this with some positive things as well, guys, but I am absolutely doing this raw with what I think. Right, the next product I want to talk about is this 6 to 7 coating that I bought on eBay that is called Mr. Fix 9H on the bottle, but may not be the real deal stuff because that comes in a different box and it's 21 quid. So I'm doing every effort to repeat myself and point that out because it's very important. I don't know what this is, and if anyone does know what it is and what's behind this watch box and why is it different from the other one, put that in the comments because it's interesting. There's some positives with this product. One, it applies and bonds. I can feel it bond as I work it over a fresh bit, and you spread it and you hit that new panel, it starts to bite a little bit, which is what is normal when you're using these, okay? And there's a little bit of resistance, and if you leave it too long, it can become harder to remove, you know, harder to just gently buff away, which is normal, okay? So this feels like a normal ceramic, and that bonding and curing, I think the fact that it's going on might suggest that this has got more solids in it than the 3 to 4 quid coating over there. Another positive with this 6 to 7 quid coating is its gloss on application was higher. It didn't have any of the streaking issues of the Veteran, and its gloss at the final reading, so its gloss retention was better than the Veteran 3 to 4 quid coating, okay? And all this is in my opinion based on the testing I've done. Now there's some negatives. This coating has very little repellency. It has very little hydrophobic qualities, a little bit more at the start, but it was poor on that front. And now at the end, there's still some sheeting of the water, but it's not very repellent at all. So it's lacking whatever the hydrophobic components are of its cheaper counterpart. There is one other negative, guys, and I'm going to show you and overlay you a picture of the panel out in the sunlight. That this product, and it's very easy for me to actually see with my own eyes, but this, I don't know, even if you could probably, it's not going to show. I'll overlay the picture of it. I have to sort of show it at certain angles or within quite strong light. The middle section that's been coated with this has gone slightly light and opaque compared to the premium coating and even the Veteran one. The Veteran one's a bit streaky, but it hasn't created this light opaquing, whereas the middle one, the fake fix 6 to 7 quid, has created like a ghosting effect all over it, whitened the clear coat slightly, which is very bad. You do not want that at all. The only thing is, again, if it wasn't on a black car, I wouldn't notice it on any other colour, I don't think. And if I didn't have it up against direct other products to compare, it'd be very hard to spot because you just have the overall panel. But next to something that's kept it a really nice, good, dark, glossy black, it stands out as being slightly opaque and light. That I do not like one little bit. The same as we did for Veteran. What particular uses could I have for this 6 to 7 quid coating? Well, actually, I wouldn't use this one on any because of what I've seen with that ghosting and the fact there is no repellency. But the irony is this is actually probably higher in solids, and this is just a guess, than our cheap one over here. But I'm worried. I'm worried about why it's opaqued out the finish. Some people got some really good comments back on the first video, and some people said that there's different grades and qualities of these speciality chemicals, so I don't know if that's what's doing it, or I don't know if it's just a general formulation thing. Again, you would never spot that unless you had it out on black test panels, or, well, black is the ideal colour for spotting that sort of stuff. So no, I wouldn't use that on anything, that one. I wouldn't use it on trim. I just haven't got a use for that. That's just being honest. And finally, the premium coating. Well, let's get the negatives out of the way first. You will pay 40 to 50 quid for that, and that's a lot of money, okay, in comparison to the cheap ones. So that's a negative that we've got to include in this video. However, there were no application issues. I was able to follow a set of instructions from the provider, and those instructions delivered me a solid application with no kind of issues. You know, it doesn't look all wonky and all that sort of stuff, lines like I did with this one. It had a good amount of repellency all the way through, all the way now up until 6 months later. Good repellency, so that's nice. You know, people will want that, regardless of whether that's important or not. You know, people want it. End of story. Next up, the gloss on application and gloss retention was the highest of all three. About 85% gloss retention overall. The next one down had 75, which I don't know if that's good or bad. You know, I've never done that 6-month kind of readings before. So, but it did the best gloss retention out of all 3 products. So there's no real negatives on this one, other than that it's going to cost me a lot more money. But I wanted to say that so that it's a balanced review. That is it for this video, guys. So overall, my opinions on these, a few things have changed by the fact that I see differences in performance across the 2 cheap products. If I could almost combine the good things out of both of them, they might almost be viable. But so there's been some positives there, but overall I'm still of the same opinion with these products. So be aware that they are different bottle to bottle, you know, name brand by name brand, if you can call them a brand. But be aware that you ultimately, I really believe that if you are going to go down the ceramic coating route, at least if you've got a similar mindset to me when it comes to the car that I really like, I'm just looking for a product that I'm really impressed by. And I'd like that product to be cheaper than more expensive, if I'm honest, because value is great. So I'm glad I've explored these, but for me, I've spotted too many problems with them, and all the information that that's come back to me on them as well, because I speak to a lot of people, has made me even more cautious of them. But I've tried to kind of block that out and stay neutral and just look at them, assuming they're just no different, you know. But they are. There's some performance issues there. So that's my thoughts on this one, guys. Don't expect you to agree with, or don't expect all of you to agree. Whenever something's 3 or 4 quid like this, and it's normally 50 quid, then the masses that are into this and aware of the existence of these products will go and buy it and try it. Now, a lot of those guys that are just doing this will buy it and they'll be quite cautious. They might get, you know, apply it on their daily driver, you know, your Vauxhall or your Citroen or the car, you know, even my Golf, that's an old heap. I'd throw this on a wing, you know, on there and have a look at it, and then I know if I've got to take it off, I'll just scrub it off one wing, you know, with some abrasives, and I'll get it off, even if I have to go at it with the old grinder. But the danger is you just say, you know, a mate messages you on Facebook, you've got cheap coating here, ceramic coating's 3 quid, go and get it. You hurl it on your car, and the results are poor. And then the time to get that bloody thing off the car is pretty immense. So I don't care with this one. Loads of people are going to disagree with me not recommending them because they'll have put them on the car and they won't have been able to test some of the things that we've tested in this video. So for their intensive purposes, they might have used the cheap 3 to 4 quid one, and 6 months down the line it's still hurling the water off the car and you love it. Well, great. I don't want to ruin your party. If you're happy, I'm happy, but the message stays the same from the first video. I'm not impressed with these products. I still think they are skimping on some of the ingredients, and more importantly, as a consumer, guys, you've got no idea what you're getting, no idea at all, and no support. So message is the same. Avoid them. Do your research on ceramic coatings. Speak to the manufacturers. Said this in the first video. Speak to the manufacturers. Speak to professional detailers for their opinions, and then go with one that you are comfortable with, that has a good reputation. That is a solid bit of advice, okay? Very solid bit of advice. So there we go. That's the update video on ceramic coatings. Very interesting subject. Let me know in the comments, as always, your thoughts on this, guys, and I'm happy for you to completely disagree with me. I can take it on the chin. I can take the shots. Bring it on. I will see you in the next one. Take care.
On to what I knew, but the moment's gone. Where was I when